Welcome back to the channel, everybody. As you can see, everything is gone. That is right, our shop is empty, as you can tell by the echo. Everything is gone. Where did it go? Well, let me show you. Everything except the vehicles is in this storage container behind me. 16 feet by 7 by 8, I don't know. Everything is in here. Why? It is time for concrete. That is why. Very, very excited to be moving forward with this. Talked with the wife quite a bit this spring. Could do this, could build the deck she wanted. She understands the importance of the concrete, both for the work I do here and for storing our things. If you're not aware, dirt floor, moisture comes up, things rust from the ground up, which we don't want that to happen to anything we're working on or any of our stuff like the camper, vehicles, Bob, anything like that. So we are putting in our concrete finally. No insulation yet, that'll come yet at a later date. But for now, everything is needing to get evicted. I've been doing a lot of work the last week or two here off camera, trying to get everything packed into that storage unit. Toolboxes are up in the garage. Other things are behind the shop here in the lean-to. And vehicles, well, they're getting moved around as needed right now. Until we actually pour, they're going to be stored in here. At least, well, one over here, my cousin's hot rod, that's going to be in the garage. But everything else is going to be kind of playing shuffle while we get everything prepped to pour in here. So I'm going to finish doing our grading in here. What we're doing, let me tell you that real quick. We are putting in a 5-inch slab with in-floor heat, and we are using heat sheet insulation panels underneath the concrete. You'll see those. Found out about those from our building his big old shop for his post-frame construction business. Looks like a great product, easy to work with, easy to lay your pecs into, and seems like a good deal for us. Not a ton more than doing the traditional 2-inch pink foam flooring. So we're doing that. We are likely putting our boiler and everything back here in this corner away from all the shop stuff. And I have a lot of dirt yet to excavate out behind you. This side is mostly done. We've gone down 7 inches below where our aprons are for our doorways and overhead doors. That allows us the 2 inches for our foam plus 5 inches for our slab. And I was actually expecting this to be a much worse project than it has been. This side got knocked out in about 2 evenings, and I'm hoping today to get the rest of this done over here, because this week all of our insulation for the floor shows up. Then I can start laying that down. We've got an order from the Menards home store with all of our rebar and some pink foam for along the sides of the building for insulation. And then it's going to be go time for concrete. We've got our hydrant over here, which is kind of in the middle of the floor. Let me show you this real quick. If we go over here, here's our hydrant. This originally was going to be the back wall of the building, and the gentleman that helped us do a lot of our excavation and groundwork suggested, hey, let's move everything back 10 feet. Actually, this is more like 15 feet. So we've got more space out by the overhead doors for turning around, parking and everything, and that was a really good idea, because without it, that would have been really tough, especially getting some trailers in here and everything. But since this was done in the summer of 2019 and this one up in 2020, we have to move this. So I've got to go steal his Mini X, trench a hole back by the wall, and then they'll come down and reattach that hydrant where it goes, and we can backfill and be ready to go. So let's just take a quick spin around this place real quick. So again, this is where the work's been going on. All of our pallet racking has been removed. That's outside. Our TV can stay. Air compressor's got to move. That corner of stuff, that's going to be our tack room. So we've got this area laid out pretty much. This area here is going to be squared off and have a tack room put in for the horse stuff, so that A is out of the garage and B is out of this workspace and all the environment and critters and stuff. Around here, same as it was. All the cars are still here, and Bob. So I think that's enough right now. I'm gonna go finish getting a couple things moved, like the air compressor, shuffle the vehicle so I can finish the final grading in here, and we'll come back when I've got all of our heat sheet here ready to put that in and show you how that goes. Alrighty, we've got our space, really echoey if you can't hear that. All of our ground has been pretty well prepped. There's a little variance here and there, maybe plus or minus a half an inch, but I'm really not going to worry about it. If anything, I'm low in areas versus high, so a little extra really never hurt, right? So we're going to go ahead, start laying down our insulation. I've got 7 inches of the 2-inch pink foam to go around the perimeter here at our stem wall area to provide sort of a barrier, more of a thermal barrier below grade. So we're gonna go ahead and lay that down and I'll show you what that looks like. Alrighty gang, we have our perimeter insulation in and done for the most part. That took a little longer than I thought. Started at about 9 o'clock this morning. Took a break for church and lunch and then supper. It's about 9 o'clock now. Took more time than I thought, but overall not too bad. Just a lot of piddly measuring and fitting and gluing just to make sure all of these chunks of 2-inch pink foam got where they should be. Aprons by the doors, that's a little sketchy. They may get ripped off, I don't know yet. When they were poured, the aprons were poured, there was a lot of just sort of crap that snuck out under the form, so I can't get down my full 7 inches I wanted to do, so I'm only going about 4 inches the depth of the apron itself. The bonus, I guess the plus side, is that underneath in the dirt there's about 6 inches between where the concrete's going to be and the existing foundation, so you've got a gap of earth in there. So we'll see. I've got back over my shoulder here 2 pieces of the pink foam. That's where we decided we're going to put our whole heating stuff, so the manifold, all the tubes are going to come out there, and we figured that's the best spot for it. It's out of the way, kind of a little corner. It's been a crap catcher for the last 4 years, so easiest way to get rid of crap, just put something useful there. So that's what we're doing. Upside, I've got 4 sheets of that I did not use, so that's some savings back in the pocket, about $160, $170, I think. So we get that returned to the home store. I had 10 tubes of the PL foam board adhesive caulk stuff. That all got used short of maybe a half of a tube. So I was pretty well spot on with that if you're using this as a guideline. Everything else is pretty well graded. Like I said, about a ½ inch plus or minus. I don't have a vibratory roller, but what I do have is a 10,000 pound skid steer. So we just drove back and forth, tire track by tire track, and packed everything down the best we could. And areas around, like my hydrant, I just stepped on them. I'm really not worried. So the next thing is to start laying down our floor insulation. And for that, as I mentioned, we've got a product called heat sheet. Let me go grab that. Alrighty, here's our heat sheet. It looks a lot like a Lego brick. 2 inches thick, actually 2 7/8 with these little nodules. And the nice thing about it is that you can run your PEX right in all these channels, so you don't have to spend a lot of time stapling your pecs down, making sure you're staying in your lines in the event you're going to put in any floor anchors or anything like that. So this all gets laid down. It all interlocks. You've got a groove back here, tongue and groove, and this eliminates the need for the vapor barrier, the plastic underneath, which is another savings. Going with this route, it was approximately the same cost as more of the pink foam. If you take out the vapor barrier, if you want to put one in, that's fine, you still can, but there's no need to with this, this particular product, especially in this thickness. If you want with a thinner product, you would still need a vapor barrier, but not in this case. So I'm gonna go grab a couple boxes or a couple bags. There's literally 50, 60, 70, I don't know how many of these packages laying out here, over there, they're kind of everywhere. Move the camera and we'll just start laying some of this stuff down and I'll show you. I'm not gonna go through all of it, of course, but show you kind of how the process goes and then let you figure out the rest in your head while I crank out some tunes. So here we go. All right, so I've got one stack here I already uncovered just to kind of test with and play with a little bit. And only thing you really want to do is when you start, make sure your tongue faces your next piece you're going to put in. And you kind of figure out which way is going to work best for your setup. For me, well, that's not going to work. I should maybe start from the other direction, but I probably won't because I'm dumb. Neighbors? Tonight apparently is spraying night, so got the local co-op doing all of our spraying for our neighboring fields. None of ours. We don't have fields. We have a lawn and horses. But it's been so wet that we've had so much rain and moisture that it hasn't been able to get done. And after 2 days of no rain, everyone's out in full force. So there we go. Just start laying things in here. And yeah, I'm gonna start from the other end of the building because otherwise I'm gonna be tucking underneath that groove for the entire duration. So I'm gonna go over there. All right, now they're pointed in the other corner. Let's grab those tiles and just start working our way over this way. Now we've come up to our first little bump out in our foundation. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and notch that out, go grab a tape measure, and my knife is somewhere. Oh, there it is. Tape measure is hiding somewhere. But anyways, you see what I'm gonna be doing for the next number of hours. So no point in time lapse. I'm just gonna get to it. You will see, yeah, there is a little bit of fluctuation, but once we get all the pecs down, and then of course, once we get all the rebar down, I am not worried about it. If, like I said, anything, it's a little low, deeper, so we'll have a little more concrete in some areas. Over there by the stables, not such a big deal. There is a couple low spots in the main traffic area here where the camper gets parked and always moving vehicles in and out, and especially where the Bobcat sits. Granted, we're putting in 5 inches. We're just fine. Anyways, I'm gonna go put a bunch of this white stuff down and we'll come back and take a look at it after we've made some progress. For now, time to crank out some tunes. Alrighty. We're done. You can't really see me very well, but you can see this giant ocean of white behind me, which is all of these heat sheet tiles put down, kind of walking gingerly over them. You know, I didn't go ahead and bring in, you know, an inch of pea gravel and screed the whole thing flat. Not a big deal for me. But we were able to go ahead and get everything pretty well flat. That back corner is a little more wavy than I'd like, but this area here, the main workspace, is pretty flat. We are sitting right about that 5 inches depth for our concrete pour. It was not hard. Pretty much, like I said, giant Lego bricks, they all interlock together. The biggest, most time-consuming part was going ahead and cutting for all of our openings and our column supports in the concrete for just notching everything out. And it probably took longer to unwrap each bundle of tiles than it actually did to put them down. You didn't want to be too rough on them. They are kind of prone to breaking if you drop the bundles on their sides or handle them wrong. Those little edges that lock together will break and chip out. But all in all, it was a pretty painless process. I've probably got 4 evenings of work down here myself, probably between 2 and 4, probably averaging 3 hours a shot. I got this last section done here, probably 20 by 20 section done in about 2.5 hours. If you've got a friend to help you, whether it's lay down the tiles, unwrap them, kind of stage them, not a big deal. I spent probably an hour and a half a couple days ago bringing the other 35 bundles in here and setting them over here in the corner, and then had to slowly move things around as I worked myself into this corner where the camera is. So we're actually standing what's going to be the tack room. Let me move you back a little more here. So yeah, you're in the back corner of the tack room. Again, that's going to kind of go to about here, about 15 by 12 space for that roughly. And then we're going to reevaluate where we're putting our toolboxes. Pallet racking, I think, is going to go back in the same spot in the corner here with a little rearrangement of shelving, just so maybe we can put some of our racking of our storage stuff under them, where eventually I'd like to put a lever rack system at one point in time. But for right now, we have tackled 1/3, maybe not equal thirds, but 1/3 of our project here. That's a little better. Wonder how this pattern's gonna look behind me in 4K. Anyways, my next step is to start working on the PEX. That's gonna be in the next video. We've got 6,000 feet of PEX, I think about 5,100 feet, 5,200 feet get laid down. But I've got someone calling me. Hold on. That was my better half, so it's a good idea to answer that phone call. Anyways, what I was saying is PEX. I've got about 6,000 feet of PEX to lay down. So next video, we're gonna go through laying that all down, and then also we've got to build our manifold for aligning all the tubes up to the to be installed at a future date, boiler, and everything. So, yeah, we've got a big chunk of it down. Hopefully you've liked this. We're putting a lot of effort in here. This is a lot of work. A lot of other projects coming on very soon. I've got a new project showing up. Actually, parts have arrived today for it. I've got another pile of stuff for content up in the garage. I just need to plow through this so we can get back down here working in the shop, because right now every vehicle is displaced under tarps in the garage, stuffed in there like a clown car. So like the video, hope you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and we'll get back to the car stuff soon, but this is sort of a important thing in the car process. So we'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.